Kevin Foster, you're standing as the candidate for the Green Party in the mayoral elections for York and North Yorkshire. Could you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, as you say, my name's Kevin Foster. I'm representing the Green Party in the elections. I live in Catterick Garrison, Colburn. My father settled there after doing his military service. I stayed in Catterick. I got a job there as a civil servant all the way through. Got voluntary retirement from the MOD in 2015. I also joined the Territorial Army then, it's called the Reserve Forces then, and did 30 years there. And that's where I am. I got interested in what I could do for the area and how I could promote better things and let's have a better place to live, which led us into politics really. Started in 2018 with Colburn Town Council, then went through and won the election in 2018 to Richmond District Council, and then won the recent election in 2022 to become, fortunately, one of the Green Party councillors on the new authority that you see now of North Yorkshire.
And now you're looking to take your political career, if you like, to a different level. What sort of led you or made you want to stand to be a mayor of the county?
You say political. You're right, I do represent a political party, but I just think the values of that party mirror what I want. Better places to live, nicer places. Yorkshire's a lovely place. Let's keep it that way. I'm trying to, where I represent Colburn, a better place with a new town centre, and I want to get that drive into North Yorkshire to make Yorkshire a place to be proud of with development and move forward into this. There's a chance here for me to really make a difference for Yorkshire, to improve it, and that's what I'd like to take, grasp that opportunity and drive it forwards.
And although you say it's not sort of about politics, then you're standing as part of the Green Party. Presumably that most aligns with your own views then of where you feel the county should go and what you want from it.
Well, looking at the authority and when I looked at how it's going to work, so you're going to have the combined authority, by the way, has already started. They're developing it now, ready for the mayor when he takes place and he takes his seat. So you're going to have 2 people from the City of York, happen to be Labour, and you're going to have 2 people from the Conservatives from North Yorkshire. So I think it's a really good fit to have another party involved in that, and I really thought we can make a difference there. I don't think we get lots of votes, but we never get the representation we deserve. So why not have a Green in there to level that up, so you don't have one party having all the power, whether it be 3 Labour, 2 Conservatives or vice versa. It's a really important thing that you have even, and it's, as it says, combined authority. Let's have combined people, different parties, to push this forward and be representative, so all of North Yorkshire is represented, not just 2 big parties.
And I think it's fair to say that I think some people don't quite get what the Mayor of North Yorkshire, York and North Yorkshire will do, and I think they assume it's all about mayoral chains and opening a charity shop, but it's a very important and significant role for the county, and it's directly linked to devolution and moreover into levelling up. What's your sort of view on the bigger picture, if you like, for the mayor?
Well, you've made a point that I thought, I always say, it's not a bling mayor, this is a really important business mayor. So you're going to run a business with government money, so it's really important that people understand this is not about opening the shops down the road. I have been on the out on the hustings, knocking on doors, trying to explain this to people, and the really worrying thing is nobody knows this is going on. It really worries me that they're not engaged because they think politics is broken. Well, if it's broken, give people like me somebody off the streets. I live in an ex-council house. It's great. I don't see the best things in life. There's some real challenges where I live. Let me go in there and be the voice of people, not politicians with lots of money that can do what they want to do for their party. And that's what I'm not whipped by my party. None of my party will tell me what I should do. And I'll make this pledge here today. If I was elected, I would really, really seriously consider having my deputy mayor from a different party. I've already spoke to 3 people from different parties whether they'd be interested. Now, it's really unfair for me to say today who they are because they have got political parties, but make no bones about it, this has got to be collaborative, and it won't work if you have 2 parties fighting like that all the time. So we need to be, that's why it's called combined, it's more than one. And the idea of this is to get the money off the government, which other people have, other developers. Ben Houchin gets his fair share, Manchester, Andy Burnham gets his share. Let's have Yorkshire get their fair share so we can invest into our businesses to drive education, to have jobs when it's finished.
And kind of leading on from that then, when each of the candidates have got their kind of manifesto items, and I think it's a tricky one, and it's a tricky one to ask questions in an interview about, because you can broadly know the direction that you want to go, but it's difficult to really sort of set some definites, if you like, until you're actually in post. Do you have kind of broad objectives or of things that you're looking at doing?
So yes, so you've obviously got to have how this works, and to me they've all got to connect like in a circle, so that's the way I see it. So let's talk about the green agenda. Not everybody's there for net zero, don't believe it, but I think the evidence points to it. You've seen some unbelievable weather in the last 2 years, and if that doesn't frighten you, well, I think you're walking around with your eyes closed a little bit. We've got decaying country lights in Scarborough and Whitby. We've got really hot weather where I was unbelievable, and you've got kids that can't sleep at night. It's happening before. We're walking into an absolute catastrophe without blind. So this can connect together. So if we invest in some really good green infrastructures and be the leaders in North Yorkshire, it'll get development from government to solar panels, all them. So let's start making them in Yorkshire. Let's promote that. We're missing an opportunity in this country. Let's be the world leaders. Don't go abroad for it. Let's make these, and I can be there to drive this, to get the business to Yorkshire. Now that leads on to skills. We can get the skills from our tech colleges to do this, and it all gets together to build and drive an economy. So if you're investing it, you get investment for it's the future. It's going to come. Are we going to be last at the table, or do we want to be first with the mayor going, look, let's do this, let's get some money, let's get some drive and some really blue chip jobs into North Yorkshire and York?
One of the issues I think that we've seen with any change really is there's been a sort of level of telling people rather than involving people. Would you be a mayor that would have a debate around carbon zero or changes, bringing people along with you, in other words?
That's my biggest challenge. I agree with you. I've got to get people to say, look, we've got to do this. The evidence is clearly there. I'll go back 2 years when people go, oh, it's not going to happen. And our success as a party is getting the other parties going a bit late, but they were always right, They were right. If we'd have only listened, and a good example of that is, and it really disappoints me that the national government will not make all houses have solar panels and heat pumps in. Now, if Robert Jenrick, I think it was, had the idea, and I seen the white paper they were going to do it, they just didn't do it. That would have helped the security and the low payment of our energies. So if we have them places in, our young people who get houses, their bills are going to be lower. So that all adds to all these things. So they're looking at it, we need to drive it. And one thing I will say to people that vote for the Green Party. If it's nothing else, if the other parties see you voting for me, they'll look at them results and go, oh crikey, we need to be doing more here. This guy's got a point, and it drives them to do the right thing. So it's not a wasted vote. Please don't think your vote is wasted. It's not. It makes people sit up. Proof in the pudding, 5 new councillors in the North Yorkshire Authority. Never happened before. 5 is one from zero start. So the votes are there, people are interested. Please support us.
And with environmental changes, or I don't know, energy problems or cost of living, are we looking to the politicians for a solution, or should it really be a cross-party solution to a lot? We've got a lot of big things on the go at the moment, haven't we?
Well,
a lot, if you talk to anyone, cost of living is a big one. Housing is a big one. Environment is a big one, but I think becomes less so when you've got other problems that are more on your doorstep. Is this a more of a cross-party initiative, or is that what you're saying really, that if sort of Green lead the way, others will follow suit, do the right thing?
I understand your point, but as I said, when connecting that, they're all together. So if you drive businesses to do the right thing, employment goes down, you get blue chip jobs, it helps cure the whole thing. Then you get your retrofits in your houses. So they're all connected to make that circular economy work. So I understand your point, but Don't separate these things. Let's put them together and build the model around it. And that's what we've got to do. So everybody benefits, businesses benefit, education benefits, transport systems benefit. Because one of the other things is people can't get to education because the bus service is not working. That's a major problem. Get our kids into education. That's a real big challenge. I heard that from Scarborough Tech when I went to speak to them. Kevin, we need the jobs, we can train them to get the jobs. Let's develop the jobs so the education connects like that and it all connects together. So that's where I'm with it. I'm used to, from the day I was the first councillor ever elected to Richmond District Council, one of the first that ever went to North Yorkshire. I'm used to working in collaboration with other parties, and I continue to do that as a mayor as well. It's vital that you put the politics together. This is a business we're going to run. Yes, the politics will be there, but first and foremost, let's make North Yorkshire and York better to drive us forward. I can't stress that enough. The circular economy will work for North Yorkshire. It's a rural place. It will work, and we can develop and bring businesses in.
And then just moving on to other aspects of the mayoral role, and this is kind of almost like a separate bit to the almost like the levelling up part of it. Is really becoming the police, fire, and crime commissioner.
Yep.
And it's a massively important bit, but it's sort of an add-on to the economy part and the, if you like, the development of it. Of the county. How do you view your approach to the PFCC?
Well, I was involved in reduction of crime. When I worked for the Ministry of Defence, I used to be a trained dog handler and also a kennel manager. So my background's very much in security. I did that for quite a time near the end of my career. I used to be a security manager of the MOD Guard Service in Catterick Garrison. So I understand the law. They teach the law. I can still remember the laws now to this, ingrained when you learn them. But when I talk about collaboration, it's the deputy mayor that's going to be doing a lot of that stuff with the backing from the mayor. And that's why I say the deputy mayor will be key. Now, the mayor will be over control and there to influence what's going on. But if you're going to give somebody a position, let them do the job until you think it's got to stop. And that's important. Delegation's a great thing. But let people do their thing. So you're not going, oh, I want to know everything. Let them do it. And if they make a mistake, then pull it and we learn from our mistakes and then we go forward. The police and crime, the mayor will be heavily involved in it. But I see it as the deputy mayor's one thing that he will get working together in partnership with the mayor to get that right. Now, there's a few things I see with the police. And I'll give you one thing for fire, which really concerns me. I was at a recent meeting. I was appalled that the fire service have to fund to mitigate flooding, like the pumps and that. They're supposed to be fighting fires. That's a government's, and I will lobby the government to give the fire industry the more money to do that, because it's taken away their ability to invest in their fire tools. And that's a good example of why we have got a climate emergency. It's affecting our services. That's fact. That's not fiction. You can check that on the facts. So let's get to the government to actually put the money forward to the fire brigades to deal with the flooding as an extra, not as their first lines.
And just talking about campaigning then, I think it's a tricky business because you've got from Skipton to Scarborough. It's a big old county, isn't it, to really get your name out there. And something we see news-wise is there's not a huge interest at the moment in the mayoral campaigns, which I think is really sad. How's your campaign going, and do you have particular things in mind?
Well, it's a big challenge. There's no getting away from it. I mean, there were 600,000 people. I can't talk to all of them. It's vital, and we've had to do some fundraising. It's £5,000 to put your name in the hat, and it's another £2,000 to get this booklet, and that's the key, the booklet. You had to get your name in the booklet. Now, £7,000 to a party my size. We've got to be careful to pick our fights. But the reason we've done this, it's important to us to get our voice and our name out there. It costs all of us money. We've got some great donations, but we've got to have a choice. I think the authorities shouldn't have charged the £2,000. I think, yes, there's got to be a degree where you don't have 55 candidates, which makes it a bit, doesn't work. But that leaflet should have been free. and it could have come under the costs of the authority. So it actually favours bigger parties. We heard today about £10,000 donation, £10 million donations to the Conservatives. We just don't get them donations. So we're fighting from behind. But what you will get with us is hard-working people that care and want to do their bit, because you cannot be invested. I gave up my job to be a really good councillor in North Yorkshire. This will be my one and only thing that I will concentrate 100% on. All my other tasks will be gone. This will take over my life for 4 years. I'm fully aware of that, and I'm ready and invested, and I'm motivated to do it.
Then just looking forward, if you were to be voted in, what would you be doing in the first 6 months or the first 12 months of being in post? If you can say that. I know it's a big question to
No, it's
ask.
a good question. I don't mind questions. I quite like demanding questions, because you need to know what I'm about. I can't get to every door and knock on them. So if people get on and have a look, oh, this is Kevin Foster. That's what he's about. So it's about building a future with this. There will be some changes, because as the authorities develop without a mayor at the moment, there's some more money coming forward. I think there was a £9 million. There's lots more money. So don't be kidded on about it's only 18 million. It's a lot more than that. We need to make that into 10 times to get, and that's why I said the bidding process from government's important, that we get a fair share. But it's about building that authority. Now, there will be changes. There's some good safeguards involved to make sure nobody goes rogue on it, from both authorities, from the City of York Unitary and the North Yorkshire Unitary, and it's about getting that right. But the thing that's key, and my very first challenge, is to get that agreement from both sides of our priorities to move forward. You can make all the promises you want on the campaign trail. When you get in that room, it'll be different. It's a very new thing, and you've got to work together. And I keep saying that combined for a reason, combined authority. More than one, it's two plus the mayor authorities. So it's important you can't stress it enough. We've got to work together as a team, both York and North Yorkshire, to get them agreed priorities. Without them, it's not going to work. And you don't want to be arguing all the time. You want clear blue water forwards and make agreements to make sure it works. And then it's the mayor's job then to drive, get the investment and push it forward.
And just to finish up, we've covered quite a bit, but are there any questions you feel I should have asked you that you'd like to talk about? So it puts the ball about in your court, really.
Oh, crikey. You're the one that... You're supposed to ask me the question, not... Oh, yeah, I have. The question is, have you got an idea how I can get in touch with the people and find out what the residents really want? Have you got any advice for me?
I think it's a difficult one. I think communicating with people is become ever more complicated. I think at one time you could run an advert in a paper or on a online somewhere, but I think because online's become so congested, I don't think that's the 100% answer. People will have a different view about leafleting through the door, so I think that reaches some people again. I think there needs to be a bit of a sea change in attitude from people, that they want to come and find the answers themselves, so they need to search you out, they need to Google you, find this video and other stories about you. So I think it should be more the onus on the individual to find out for themselves what the candidates do, rather than you having to connect with 600,000 people, is it, I think, in the country?
It's around that region. It's a lot. It's daunting to try and do it, but I'll try. Phone me up. My details are out. I'll speak to you. What I can't promise, I can't go to every hustings. I'm going to do a lot. Just the other day, I had to say no to one. I have a family. I had to put an appointment for my wife. I hate saying no, but sometimes you have to say, well, your family, this was important to me. So I apologise to the one I didn't do the other day, but I hope they understand we can't do them all. And I believe it's very difficult with 5 when we're available, but I'm trying to do as many as I can to get that message out. But I agree, the media is so vast and so big, it's hard.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
You're welcome.